The Her Sports
Hello and
Show,
welcome to the Her Sports
live
Show,
every
our weekly
Wednesday
series bringing you
on
the latest in
YouTube
sports
and
news
every
and interviews
podcast
from
app.
the world of women's sport. Today I'm joined by Neasa Kennedy, a Her Sport journalist, to run through this week's headlines, and later we're joined by Emma Duggan for a chat on all things Meath team and European Week of Sport. Neasa, tell us a bit about the Women's Irish Open. So it's returned to Dromoland Castle.
Yeah, so it returned after 10 years and Dromoland Castle hosted the event. Irish superstar Leona Maguire was the big name and she would have drawn a massive local crowd. She seemed to struggle on the opening holes, but every day she played well on the back nine, and on the final day she was one shot short to make the playoff. The playoff was between Nicola Brock-Estrup, Ursula Wikström and Czech Republic's Klara Spilkova, with Spilkova becoming eventual champion.
It must be something for Klara to come back after the 10 years, so like that's the last time the tournament was held, and to come back and be the eventual winner. I know for Leona, like, it was so close to get into that playoff, which she probably would be disappointed with, but she said like the Irish crowds and everything, like it was great to play in front of her home crowd, and that's what a lot of the athletes were commenting as well, is that it was a great tournament to be there. The atmosphere is great, everybody seemed to enjoy it. We caught up with a couple of the younger girls that had played in the Pro-Am, and they said that the getting to meet some of the athletes was really inspirational, so it'll show like the impact that it'll have on, you know, golf for young girls. And then we also caught up with the other end of things with the senior ladies, and they were talking to us about how much like golf brings like community together as well. So it seems like a really, really good event overall. We at Her Sport were delighted to be down there and meet everybody.
Definitely, yeah.
But tell us a bit about Aileen Walsh. So she was in action as well.
Yeah, so Aileen was in action as well. She narrowly missed making the cut-off for the last 2 days of playing. So she's obviously an amateur golfer and a member of Dromoland actually. So again, many fans travelled to come see her. Yeah. She was like the local girl. Yeah,
no, we met a lot of people that were definitely down looking out for Aileen as well. I'd say definitely helped being a member of Dromoland that they're all coming out to support her. But we had a huge weekend of action as well with the rowing. So the Irish team were in action at the Rowing World Championships. The first medal that Team Ireland saw was with Katie O'Brien in the para single. So a really good result for her, something she'd be absolutely thrilled with. Like, you could see the emotion in her face in the pictures and everything. So it's great to see her as the world champion. She is racing with her doubles partner Stephen in the double, and something that they'll be really targeting is Paris. They're definitely coming on leaps and bounds, but it's like really something for Katie to just keep performing in that single as well and getting such great results. Margaret Creme and Aoife Casey were in action in the lightweight double, and they managed to come away with the bronze. I was talking to Margaret, and she was saying like they can't quite believe the result that they got. It's been some journey for the lightweight panel, you know, from the lead up to Tokyo to where they are now. You know, they were an outside shot of qualifying for the Tokyo Olympics, and now they're contesting at world level, bringing home a bronze. It's been a little bit of mix and match. There's 3 athletes that are there contesting for the seat. So you have Margaret Cremen, you have Aoife Casey, and you have Lydia Heafy. So Lydia was competing in the single at the World Championships. She finished in 3rd in the B final, so she would have got 9th overall. Margaret and Lydia had got 4th at the European Championships, so that was a really good result. Aoife was in the single at that time, so she had got a 4th in the lightweight scull as well. So you can see there's like a lot of competition for the seats there. In terms of the other medalists, we had Sunita Pushpore and Zoe Hyde in the open double. A really, really good result for them. They managed to get another bronze medal. It was something that I think they said it felt like gold. That's what Sunita was saying. It felt like a gold medal to them. So you have the experience of Sunita, and then you have the youth of Zoe. Zoe will definitely be learning a lot from Sunita as they're competing in the double. So yeah, just really, really good results for Rowing Ireland.
And Sunita has now made the switch to the double. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so Sunita has been competing for a long time in the single. Like, she's been to the Olympics 3 times in the single. She has 2 World Championship titles and 2 European Championship titles in the single. So she wasn't sure that she'd continue racing after competing in Tokyo, and she's stayed involved in the squad. She's matched up with Zoe now, and they seem to be performing really, really well. She has made the switch, but also another competitor, Magdalena Lobnig, has made the switch from the single as well. So Ireland came 3rd, and Austria, which is where Magdalena Lobnig is from, they came 4th. And it was interesting because like they were like pretty tight coming through like the final 500 meters, and then Ireland like really pushed on in the last 150 to like secure that bronze. but it's interesting to see two athletes that have switched from the single sculls into the double sculls. Lobnig is racing with her sister as well, so like these two athletes will know each other really, really well, so it should make for a bit of a mix-up, I'd say, in the double, as you see these two like superstars that in the single switching into the double. So that'll be really good to watch over the next while.
Something to watch anyway.
Yeah, and I suppose it'll be looking towards Paris and seeing what they can potentially do together, if it's something that they're going to continue. But definitely it's a huge learning curve for Zoe to be in with Sunita and getting that experience. But in terms of the other crews that were racing, we had the four of Afra Keogh, Emer Lamb, Emily Haggerty and Fiona Murtaugh. They finished 6th in the A final. They had been competitive in the semi-final, but they didn't get the result in the final. It's hard to say whether they'd be happy with that 6th place, obviously coming off the back of an Olympic bronze medal. Things have mixed up since the Olympics. Like, people are not everyone's based in Cork all the time. It's the first time that crew have raced together this year. They've had other athletes like Tara Hanlon in the 4 at different times during the season, so it's definitely a year that the women's squad will be learning and trying out new things, and then the main focus will obviously be the Olympic Games as we work towards that in 2024. In terms of Tara Hanlon and Natalie Long, they raced in the pair together. They came 2nd in the B final, and then Alison Burgeon was also in the single, and she came 5th in the C final. So overall, pretty good result. Like, it's a really big squad at the moment, and it shows that there's a lot of potential in Irish rowing.
Yeah, Irish rowing is definitely exciting place to be looking at the moment. Looking then, I suppose, to the cricket. So in cricket, Ireland have now qualified for the T20 World Cup. They just beat Zimbabwe in the semi-final of the qualification tournament to secure their place. So that's something else to look out for. And in the Women's Super League then, Arsenal triumphed over Tottenham 4-0. And there was actually a record attendance at that as well of 47,367 in Emirates, which is the largest crowd ever in the Women's Super League. Vivian Miedema scored twice, Beth Mead scored, and Rafael Souza also scored, and Irish captain Katie McCabe, she played super throughout.
You can definitely see the kickback from the Euros as these competitions and these matches are going ahead. Like, there's a lot of excitement, and hopefully we'll see that continue over the next few years, and also to come across the waters to Ireland, and we get more people down watching the game, because it was definitely like a really positive thing that we saw the Euros coming out of England. In terms of Australian football, we had some of the Irish stars in action. So I caught some of the match between the Adelaide Crows and the Giants on Sunday. The Adelaide Crows made AFLW history, winning with 15 goals and 7 behinds to 1 behind as they defeated the GWS Giants. There are 3 Irish players involved in these teams. So we have Mayo footballer Niamh Kelly, we have former Clare footballer Ailish Considine as part of the Crows squad, and then we have Cora Staunton, she plays for the Giants. Niamh wasn't actually playing because she dislocated her shoulder, so she's just waiting to hear when she'll be back in action. Probably a tough watch, really. It is probably hard coming up against Adelaide Crows, because they were the winners last year, but it wasn't a very competitive match to watch, unfortunately, this time round. In other action, we had Liam McCourt at Bellator 285. The MMA fighter defeated the Brazilian Diana Silva on Friday, and she won all 3 rounds. So McCourt's record is now 7-2. Finally
then, in the Evoke.ie FAI Women's Cup, Athlone Town are set to play Shelburne November 6th in the final, after both teams won their fixtures this week. So Athlone Town defeated Wexford Youths 3-0, with Madison Gibson scoring all 3 of the goals. And Shelburne also defeated Bohemians 1-0 with a penalty by Noelle Murray.
There's other news in the Women's National League as well. Ella Malloy will be out for a little while, so she's after picking up an injury. I believe it's with her ACL, so unfortunate for her, but hopefully we'll see her back shortly. But for these stories and more, head over to hersport.ie. Now we're going to catch up with Emma Duggan, Meath footballer and All-Ireland champion. Hi Emma, it's great to have you on the show. How are you doing?
Not too bad, how are you?
Good, thank you. We know that you are an ambassador for the European Week of Sport, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, it's great to be on board. It was great to be asked and to be part of such an amazing initiative. Obviously, it's this year I was, I suppose I've I suppose involved with it a little bit more, so I got to know a little bit more about it as well. And it's absolutely a brilliant initiative, I think. And I suppose the people involved in it as well are top sports people as well. So it was great to meet them.
And for you, sports obviously a huge part of your life. For those that don't know, tell us a bit about how you got started.
I started playing Gaelic football when I was about, I suppose, 6 or 7, and then I only started the club team. I started playing with the boys in my local GA club in Dunboyne when I was about, I suppose, 8 or 9. And then Gaelic was always, I suppose, a priority, but I did play, a soccer, I did a bit of athletics, and I was also an Irish dancer as well. So I was involved in a good bit from a young age. But then when I was kind of 12, I just made the decision just to prioritise Gaelic football, and I suppose that's when kind of my inter-county career and everything like that took off. So
I suppose from the variety of sports and obviously dancing in there as well, a lot of people talk about how important it is to have a variety as a kid. What would your kind of thoughts be on that, and what do you think the variety gave you as you chose to stick at Gaelic football and kind of specify it as sport?
Yeah, look, I think technically it's really good to be involved in a lot of sports. I think you can take a lot of skill set. Like I know I take a lot of skill set that you say learn in soccer, whatever it is, or athletics. You kind of take that side of it into Gaelic football now. So I think that part of it is really, really good. You can kind of transfer them over very easily. But I think more so, I did enjoy all sports, but probably playing different sports, it made me nearly appreciate Gaelic football that little bit more as well. So, I suppose you get to enjoy it that little bit more again, and you realise what sport makes you the happiest as well. So it kind of makes the decision a little bit easier sometimes as well.
Yeah, and obviously for European Week of Sport, like there's a lot of encouragement for people, to get out there, to be active and find something that they enjoy doing. So does that variety kind of give people the opportunity to test different things out and find out what they love?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, playing a variety of sports, it teaches you nearly what you're good at. It tells yourself what you're good at, like that. And then it does make the decision a little bit easier. Sometimes you try something, you might be absolutely useless at it. You might go one time and say you're never going to go back. So, you can nearly see trial and error sometimes like that as well. So, it is brilliant. I'd always encourage, young kids to go out and do as much as they can at a young age when you're able to, I suppose.
Absolutely. And I suppose with the week that's in it as well, it's not just the young kids, it's everybody. So I know on the website there's a lot of information for people on how they can get involved in the different events that are going on across the country. For you, obviously, you're playing inter-county football with Meath, and it's 2 back-to-back All-Ireland Championship wins. So how did that feel when you managed to seal the deal for the second win?
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. A lot of people have kind of been asking, what it was like compared to the first time, but it's 2 different feelings altogether. You're never going to win, your first All-Ireland again. So that was obviously a special feeling. But this year, I think it was really satisfying knowing, the challenges and the obstacles that we had to overcome. We didn't have one easy game this year. So to be able to back it up makes it all that much sweeter, and to, I suppose, show people that we weren't just there last year for one go and then we'd be, on the downward spiral. We're here to stay. And I think we proved that this year.
Yeah, because obviously, it's been some journey for the team going from the intermediate championship to the senior championship. And as you said, like you're really solidifying your team, and Meath is a really strong team and somebody to be contesting with every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think that's the kind of point that we want to get across. I know we've lost obviously management this year and a couple of players, but there's still a really, a core group there, really experienced players sticking around. And then we've obviously young players, minor girls coming up as well. So, although we have lost a couple of players, I think it's really important that, we drive on again next year, no matter who's over us. We still have a really strong team there. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I suppose you've touched on it, so we might as well ask the questions now. Obviously, there's a couple of people going across to play Aussie rules in Australia. And what's that like? It's tough. It's a tough loss when you're losing people to go and play a different game. But how do you focus and rebuild the team?
Yeah, look, it was a massive thing for the girls to go over as well. They were taking a massive risk in leaving what we have here to go over and play and learn a new sport as well. And I think, so far the risk seems to be paying off. They're getting on really well over there. But look, all we can do is play with the girls that we have here. And like I said, there's, a huge amount of really experienced girls there and young girls coming up. So, it's a chance for other girls to step up in different positions and stuff like that. Obviously, you're losing top 2 players in the country in Vicky Wall and Orla Lally, but there are players there that can step in, and that's the thing that we have depth in our panel. It's something that we've always had, and girls are really, really eager to get going now.
Yeah, and obviously, like it's a huge pull from a financial perspective to people to go over to Australia to play professionally in a sport that they love and it's something that they love doing. giving them great opportunity. But I suppose the success that you've had for the past few years will really drive and motivate people within the county to play, and definitely inspire a few more people to get involved and come on board.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. If, even if we hadn't won any All-Irelands and, we're inspiring the generation under us, that's the most important thing for us, and keeping girls playing. And I know, the numbers playing for Meath now the last couple of years anyway has been incredible. So, there's girls there that want to play for Meath, and hopefully in the future that's, only going to benefit us.
Absolutely. And talk to us about the change in management. So obviously you've had the same manager for the past couple of years. You've had 2 successful journeys with him, and there'll be a change this season. So was that a little bit unsettling at the start? And I suppose, how are the team taking it?
Yeah, look, we kind of knew that this was probably going to be the lads last year. So that was always in the back of our head. And then kind of after, in the dressing room after the final, they kind of solidified that. It was fairly emotional in the dressing room. So we kind of knew that they'd be departing ways there. But look, it's a chance for someone else to come in and bring a fresh voice, fresh ideas. So, of course, we only know the lads for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's going to be a big change for us as well to, I suppose, get a new voice in there and to try adapt to maybe if they bring in a new style of play or whatever it is. So it is going to be a massive change, but we have to adapt because, we're not going to get it easy again this year. So.
Yeah, but sure, look, the groundwork is certainly done, and you have well established, I suppose, yourselves as a team. And as you said, there's a core group there and everything as well. So it's just building on what you have, and as you said, a new voice, a change of direction.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. I think our team is very player led as well. So management come in, they have their ideas, they have their whatever. But I think on the pitch, it's down to the players. When you step over the white line, it's all about the players. So I think that's the most important thing, is we've built, a really core group there and really experienced players that, we're able to do that. It's not like, we're a ridiculously young team. We do have a good balance there between the older players and the younger players as well. So whoever comes in, I think has a pretty, easy job in terms of the players that they have. It's just about, I suppose, building from what we have now.
We'll have to catch up with them down the line after they've had you for a couple of months and see what they think.
Yeah, they might have different ideas.
You mentioned there the team and the group that you have. It seems like there's great friendship and camaraderie with the team as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think when you spend so much time with a group of players, like it's only natural that you're going to grow close to them. And I suppose it's a different relationship compared to what you have, say, with your friends from home. Your football friends understand exactly, what's going on. You spend probably more time with them than you do with your family. So, we do have a brilliant relationship, and I think that's important. It's important to have a relation off the pitch, and I think that shows on the pitch as well. I think that was the difference between us and maybe other teams this year.
Yeah, I know you could definitely see from all the photographs and the moments captured, like the joy and the kind of camaraderie within that. In terms of coaching, across a couple of sports and within Gaelic football, like, you can see that it's still pretty male dominated. While there are a few people coming up in football and rugby, in soccer, some of the sports that have been, quite male dominated over the past couple of decades. How important do you think it is to see that, representation on the sidelines, for people that want to pursue coaching, but also for the players to, to relate to women, to have that kind of support there as well? Yeah,
look, I think it is generally male dominated on the sideline, but I think, as the ladies game is growing in the next few years, I think you are going to see more females on the sideline as well. I think the expertise that you get from actually playing football, and, the knowledge that you get, you might have a huge amount of coaching experience, but once you have that kind of knowledge of the game, it's very easy to make that step to coaching. So it depends if it's something that players, maybe when players retire and stuff like that, if it's something that, they want to do and have the patience for, in terms of coaching. I think you definitely are going to see a lot more females on the sideline in the next few years, and that would be, really great to see, because I know it's something that's kind of cropped up a few times as well, that it's all kind of male dominated on the sidelines. But I think that will probably start to change in the next few years, hopefully.
Is it anything that would ever interest you?
It's actually something that we talk about a lot with the girls, coaching and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I'd actually have the patience for it. Heart attacks and stuff like that inside. I'm not sure if I'd be able for it, but look, we'll see. I think it's hard to know now. Maybe when you're a little bit older, you have a better mindset for it. But for now, I think I'd be standing on the sideline too eager to probably get on and try to do something on the pitch. So I'm not too sure yet. But
And obviously there's the different levels of coaching. You're thinking club and inter-county there, but there's obviously like underage stuff. And do many of the players get involved with the underage setups in local clubs at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Like whatever we can do around our own clubs, we like to do. And I think especially in Meath over the last, couple of year or two anyway, clubs are mad to get girls in underage because of the impact that we've had. Even if they're seeing you there and you give them a quick chat or whatever it is, like it makes a huge impact on them, and to have that influence over smaller kids like that, it's brilliant because it can really drive them on, it can really inspire them. So a lot of our girls would be involved in underage teams, which is great to see as well.
And for any girls that are interested in competitive sport and getting involved, like what would your best advice be for them?
I think something that I always tell younger kids is to try and enjoy it first and foremost. And when you're enjoying your sport, you're going to be motivated to, I suppose, work hard at it and to, put in the hours behind the scenes. So I'd say enjoy it, play with a smile on your face, and that's the most important thing. Everything else will follow after that.
And I suppose with the European Week of Sport and the whole kind of ethos that is around it, we are seeing that twice as many girls are dropping out of sport as boys by the age of 14. So how important is it for young girls to get out there, during this week, try new things and find the right thing that's there for them, with obviously the idea of staying active for the next couple of years in mind?
Yeah, look, I think it's really important. And like you said, it's about being active this week. But I think what sport gives you, and I think what I've learned over the last few years is what keeps people in sport is nearly the friendships that are made in the teams. So I think try get out, join a team or whatever it is this week, because, you do make friends for life. And that's one thing that I've learned over the last few years as well. And that's always going to keep you playing, when you're enjoying it with your friends as well. So that'll be one thing I would definitely say to young kids that are maybe on the fence about trying something new.
Mm-hmm. And despite popular opinion, GAA may not be for everybody. So for somebody that's maybe not interested in playing Gaelic football or has tried it and wants to try something else, like what would your advice be to go and find the right sport that is for them?
I think, like I said earlier, I think it's nearly about trial and error, like to get out and do, maybe if it's not even, a contact sport, or, it's just maybe, I don't know, any sport, running, athletics, whatever it is, like just get out and, if you're completely uncomfortable with trying something, just get out and do it, get out of your comfort zone, because it could completely shock you, you could absolutely love it. So it's literally about trying everything. If you have the time, go play every sport if you can, and just find what's best for you, because it can honestly change your life. So
we'd have encouraged people to take the week off work to go and try all the sports next week by the sounds of things. But no, I think there's some really, really good advice in there. And as I said, it really is about the friendships, and there's so much that you can get from sport. So thanks, Neasa, for taking the time to chat to us and for all that good advice.
No worries. Thanks a million.
The Her Sports Show, live every Wednesday on YouTube and every podcast app.